Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my interactive Space Engineers series where you tell me what to build and I build it. Now I need to apologise first of all for the lack of videos recently. It's the end of the semester at university and there's a lot of deadlines, and so I've got to concentrate on boring real life things. But I haven't forgotten about you guys, and while I've had spare time I've still been working on things here and there. So I've got a video today with a few things that I have been working on recently based on some of your suggestions. Anyway, since Space Engineers devs announced they'd be implementing planets soon, I've had requests for landers, dropships, rovers and things similar to that. And I've been apprehensive to do so, build these things, because we don't have the planets yet and we don't exactly know what they'll bring. However, it is likely that they will have gravity fields that affect all blocks rather than just artificial mass blocks. To simulate this, I've loaded up the natural gravity mod, which has a large asteroid with a gravity field that affects everything in its sphere of influence, and I'm going to demonstrate here with the Valk shift the issues present with this. As you can see, the ship does not have enough upward thrust to get clear of the planet, essentially rendering it immobile, and if I try and flip it upwards, I end up smashing up the back of it and sometimes even breaking off the landing gear. To clear a planet like this you need a lot more power, and that's where one of this week's machines come in. I'd like to introduce the Leatherback heavy freighter, named after the enormous leatherback tortoise, because when flying in space it kind of does look like one. This is a huge leviathan of a ship capable of bringing heavy equipment down to the surface of planets as well as being able to lift it back up into orbit. The Leatherback is largely inspired by Thunderbird 2 from Gerry Anderson's series in the 1960s, however it has its own distinct appearance based on the nature of Space Engineers, and true to the style of the series I haven't done a direct clone of it. Now, given a quick tour, the interior of the Leatherback's relatively small for reasons we'll come on to later, despite its large size, but it features an airlock deployment tube at the front that seats some nearby, as well as a large two-pilot cockpit area and a seating area on the top deck above. And the idea for this is so we can deploy troops very quickly through the tubes at the bottom, and they can get on with what they've got to do, be it a humanitarian mission, exploration, or even combat. And as you can see, the ship is well kitted out with weapons to defend itself in a combat scenario. When entering the planet's sphere influence, the main engines rotate 90 degrees to counteract the effect of the gravity and allow for a slow and comfortable descent. If the thrust is balanced correctly, the Leatherback can hover in one position above the ground despite the effect of gravity pulling it down. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of Space Engineers, the VTOL thrusters can't be controlled with the WASD keys, and you must adjust the thrust manually using the hotbar. Once the ship has touched down, the pilot simply activates the contact landing gear on the second hotbar. Pressing P will not work, as there are other pieces of landing gear used throughout the ship for other functions. One of these other functions is locking the pod in place, which at this point of the landing sequence would be unlocked. After this, disable the merge block and the connector on the hotbar and activate the pistons at the end, but make sure that the inertial dampeners are still switched on. Now, as you can see, the lifting body's been raised completely clear of the pod, allowing the main loading ramp to drop. The pod can then be depressurised and then allow two Inquisitor Rovers to explore the planet's surface. The Inquisitor Rovers are the other things I'd like to show off today. As you can see, they aren't your bog standard rovers, and they're designed to deal with difficult terrain without sustaining damage to their undercarriages. For this reason, the wheels are laid out in a way similar to tank tracks, with some at the front slightly raised to help provide traction on inclines, and the base of the rovers is built out of blast door blocks to avoid warping in unusual ways. Each wheel is equipped with an artificial mass block to help the tyres adhere to surfaces when using artificial gravity. However, these may not be required to be switched on when exploring planets. For difficult terrain and manoeuvring, the Inquisitors are also fitted with gyroscopes to improve turning, as well as to help angle the vehicle when driving back up into the Leatherback's pod. When the Inquisitors aren't in use, landing gears can be deployed on pistons and raise the rover off the ground entirely. This allows for engineers to service the undercarriage of the rover if it sustains damage in its travels, as well as being able to completely lock it to the ground when in transit. You may have also noticed the rover has a flatbed at the back with a merge block and a connector, and I had the idea that these could be used as a mounting point for different tools and devices, but so far the only one I've built is a combined rocket and Gatling gun module that could be used for anti-infantry or for anti-air purposes. And that's where I'd like you guys to come in. Do you have any ideas on what I could do to add to the Inquisitor? Different modules for the back for different purposes? If you do, be sure to leave suggestions below. If you'd like to be more hands-on with it, you can always download the Inquisitor in the description below and add a module yourself. And be sure to send me a picture of it on Twitter. I'd love to see what you get done with it. Anyway guys, let me know what you thought of the Leatherback Heavy Freighter and the Inquisitor Rover in the comments section below, and be sure to leave any improvements that could be made to them there as well. If you're enjoying the series, be sure to leave a like, favourite, comment and subscribe. Give the ships a try, they are available on the Steam Workshop, and hopefully I will see you again soon. University's nearly over and I'll be able to spend a lot more time in Space Engineers. So guys, hope you enjoyed, take it easy, have a good day, bye bye.